Okay, so today this is the new project, and we're going to work today on the background, the wall, and we'll see how it goes. So we want to create this textured, beautiful textured color in the background, and we'll start. We have primed the canvas in burnt umber, or we could prime it in black. Doesn't matter, both colors are fine. So I have here cadmium red light, burnt sienna, and teal. And this is raw umber. So what I'm going to do is actually, instead of having this color red everywhere right here, I'm going to tone it down and make it a little bit more earthy, so it doesn't compete with the car. We can put, of course, we will put that color in here after, is showing through. Some of this strong red that's the same color as the car, we will put it back in here, but not as much. So let's start by using this color, which is a combination of both burnt red and burnt sienna and raw umber. So raw umber is going to be the color, the main color that I'm going to dip in all of the other colors around. And then I'm going to put just randomly, not from top, from the middle, kind of, or a bit higher. And try not to have a sharp line here. So just let's just put this color here for now. And with the brush, it's a flat brush or a bright. What we're going to do is just kind of spread this color in a textured kind of brush stroke. So with the corner of my brush, I'm just kind of spreading it right here. That's a kind of an earthy orange color. This will allow me to put strong red in between as well later on. And you see the color I'm putting right here is not even, because I don't want even color. Let's see here, why is it? Okay. Don't forget that we are going to be building layers. So you don't want your initial color to be too thick, because then you will have flat kind of wall or texture. It will be too flat. So let's just kind of make it into not thin, but not too thick. And we will be using as well the knife after. Okay, so I like the idea also of having a little bit of this color over here. And over here. Just spread it along this wall too. Not the whole thing. Areas, some areas. When you go down, add more of the raw umber with the color, same color, but darker. You see down here is darker. And down here. Okay, so we're preparing a wall. This is a little bit darker than this. It has more of the raw umber in it. Now, if I want to come and add red, it's fine. And I'll show you how we're going to add red, okay, once we're ready. We're going to add red with the knife. Okay.
Leal, did you say you use burnt sienna?
Yes, there's burnt sienna.
Oh, that's a bit different than, okay, it's probably just the light.
Your burnt sienna, does it look more brown? Is that what you're getting?
No, I think I mistook what I was seeing on the screen there. I think I was looking at your red and thinking that was your burnt sienna.
This.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I mixed burnt sienna with red. I mixed them
Okay.
together.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Next, what we're going to do is take the teal color that we have here and we're going to put raw umber in it and then spread it over the same way. And then we're going to go a little bit darker, right? Okay, not too light. So if I take the raw umber and I put it in the teal, it will give me a dark kind of grayish, greenish color. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to just spread it and I'm going to go darker because when I start using the knife, I'm going to use lighter colors. So go darker. Don't go light. I always like to start my first layer with a dark because this creates depth. Same on this side.
Sorry, that's just teal and burnt umber, right?
Yes, teal and raw umber,
I mean raw umber.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, not too much because what we want to do is you leave some room for the. Sorry, just 1 minute, please. All right, so now we have titanium buff here and burnt umber. So what I did is I took titanium buff and I mixed it with burnt umber on this side. Okay, stick it there, right there. And then I'm going to take titanium buff, this side, and mix it with a bit of raw umber. So one side has burnt umber, the other side has raw umber. See the difference between the two colors? One is cooler and one is warmer, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we're going to do with this is we can do this. We can take the color. Okay, we can take the color and then we can just kind of randomly take darken your color. Okay, I know acrylic is going to dry darker, but still darken it. Not too much, but it on the dark side, not on the medium side. We can do this kind of random in areas where you see a bit of that color. All right, a little bit here. We already we have here a bit of texture already. And then I'm going to put some in here. And I'm going to take some of the burnt umber and titanium buff because I see more of the warm colors up here.
My goodness. I am not good at following instructions.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, some here. It doesn't matter where you put the, look at the reference. If you see that it's dark at the bottom, use raw umber and titanium buff. If you see it's up here, that's kind of warmer, use raw burnt umber and titanium buff. Okay, now I'm going to take more of the raw umber, put it in here, and this is quite dark right now, with a bit of titanium buff. And I'm going to come here and then just kind of put a couple in the same movement that you see, texture that you see, more like it, and it doesn't have to be everywhere. Random.
Yeah.
Okay, they're like this. Okay, now I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do this, and we'll come back to continue. Okay, so now I have here raw umber and what is this color?
Teal?
Teal. Thank you. Teal. Okay, so I'm going to take teal, raw umber, mix them together. And with the knife, I'm going to take knife. Don't put too much.
Is it like a mid color?
It's a dark gray color. Mid. Like, look at this. So this is the one before.
Yeah, just looks so different on this.
Yeah. It looks a little, it's not as dark as the first layer.
Okay.
It will dry darker, but that's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on this wall here, and we're going to put more of the teal that's kind of mixed with raw umber, and slowly with this brush, just kind of add a couple of, not brush, I mean knife. Okay, I'm going to do same down here. I know I'm putting a little bit more than what's in the reference, but that's okay. A little bit more teal color on the wall, just because the card is in a red color and the wall is in a red color. So I just want to put there more of the teal around the card so we can see the color of the card when we put it on.
Oops. So it gives a neat effect.
Pardon?
It gives a very neat effect.
Yes, it does.
course, mine looks very different from yours, but I'll go with it.
That's okay. That's okay. It's not gonna look exactly the same. Now, certain areas, I'm going to go back and take my brush, get some of this teal, and kind of, especially around the card, you don't want it to be, you don't want the texture to be heavy around the card, because then it will take attention from the actual card if you do that. This is good. All right, enough. We're going to go up here and do the same. And give this wall a nice patina. And you see, because the layer I'm putting right now is lighter, you see the dark color behind it, and that creates depth. It doesn't have to be all over. Kind of the same, that looks kind of part of the wall, part of what's happening. Again, let's put a couple here, maybe not as much. This is, I'm doing this one here with the tip of the brush.
Have you put any titanium buff in there?
No. No titanium buff. Not yet.
This looks so light.
It's the lighting.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna lower the exposure so you see it a little bit more like it is right here. More like this color. Not too light. It's the camera sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it, of course, it will dry darker, right? So acrylic dries, right? It dries darker because of the binding agent, which is made of polymer, and it's actually polymer that is milky when it's mixed with the pigment. So when it dries, it dries darker. It dries clear. So this milky binding agent, when it dries clear. That's why acrylic dries darker. Okay, that's enough. We don't want too much happening in there. That's good enough. Next step, like I'll pause for a minute. Next step will be, we will use a bit of the light color and put it over in certain areas here. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a minute for now. All right, so next step, cadmium red medium. I'm going to take raw umber, put it in cadmium red medium. And this is going to give me a beautiful, bright, kind of, not bright, but reddish color, kind of earthy reddish color. And it's really very nice color. So instead of doing the whole wall in this, we did the wall in more like a burnt sienna mixed with red. And now we're taking medium red with raw umber. So our raw umber is the main color that we're dipping. We're dipping all of the other colors in raw umber. And I'm going to come here and just kind of with my brush, flat brush or bright, create a texture that looks like brick. So you see the wall has a lot of brick in the original. We are not going to put it, we're not going to put all of this in here. We're going to put a suggestion of brick in there because this is too much. Okay, so I'm going to take again raw umber, put it in my red in here, just to kind of have a darker, kind of a little bit of a darker color. Okay, I'm going to come here, continue working on this. Take your time, don't rush. It needs to look, it should look more like we have brick there, but it's not like it's overwhelmingly, overwhelming, not too much. Now we're going to come here and over this part, we're going to put one, another one here, and one right there. Now again, stick. And you see, I'm going over some of the patina that I have. Right now, what we're going to do over here is take one, put one, two, three.
It looks neat.
Right? So when you start blending using a brush and a combination of brush and knife, and you go over with different texture technique, it looks really nice. So now this one here, we have a small one, and also up here there's a small one right here, and a small one right there. On this wall, because it's small wall, okay, this one here, we're going to put a couple of this brick thing in red. But let's make sure that they look like they overlap, like brick it overlaps. So it's not. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Well, yeah, I'll fix it later. I just noticed I did something with.
We're still going to go around this and fix it. It's not final, okay? Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit darker with same. So I'm adding more of the raw umber. Wipe my brush so I get really nice brush stroke here so the color doesn't blob. Now I'm going down, so I want my color to be darker at the bottom and lighter on top. So I'm going to start adding more of the raw umber in the red, and at a certain point use only raw umber. Now I am not following exactly what I'm seeing there, but kind of. Okay, not too much, because we have to go over with this with a bit of the same technique using some of the titanium buff and brown. All right, again on this side. I don't have much room on this side, so I'm just going to use whatever I have in terms of space. Okay. I don't want to lose a lot of the beautiful turquoise patina in here. Now, since I'm using red and raw umber, I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do that, give this more like a kind of, you don't see it much, but it's there. And for us to see it, if we want, what we can do after is use a round brush mixed with raw umber, more raw umber, and go around the brick. Let's add a bit of red in here, more red, so we can see it. So red, cadmium red medium, and raw umber. Yeah, that's better. Oh, that's too strong. Oof. Tone it down. It doesn't have to look obvious. It can be just a little bit of showing a little bit of this brick texture, a suggestion. It doesn't have to look obvious at all. So, because we're going to go back, and I'll show you in a minute what we're going to do. We're going to go back and go around this brick. All right, I'm just adding kind of a brighter red in here. So the idea is your colors on all of the walls, on the whole wall, repeat. They go back and forth. So you don't have only red here and off-white here and then turquoise just here. So wherever you take, you put on the left side, you add a bit of it on the right side, and back and forth.
You're so quick, Cleo.
And not all of the brick looks perfect, right? Some of it will look kind of behind a certain patina, and some of it will look in front of it. So some of it will look kind of, the brick itself is kind of, it shows a little bit of it because it's seeping, like not seeping through, peeking through. Yeah, okay. So let's say here, let's say that one here, it's going to look kind of, yeah, yes, it's a brick, but then all of a sudden, it's not perfect. Same here, right there. A couple that are not, they don't end with a sharp line. Because you have to think these are layers of paint. Some of it will, when they paint over whatever is there, and then you get that texture. I'm going to put some here, a little bit here, because we need to do that. We should kind of bring some of the red in this area, but we don't want to put too much. We can kind of, you know, like you know, kind of like with the corner of my brush, like a glaze, a little bit of it there. That's it. I'm going to stop, pause, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now titanium buff, burnt umber. Let's put some water in here. And clean my brush. Let's see. I want a color that is lighter than what I have underneath, and this is perfect. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to create an illusion, or not illusion, a texture that looks like brick in the off-white color. Titanium buff and burnt umber. And again, it's the same idea. It doesn't have to look perfect. Some of the bricks are showing through and some are not. And right there, we're gonna have smaller. So what we're doing is we're layering texture and color. Some of it is just kind of dry brush now. It doesn't have to all, it doesn't, we don't have to repeat the brick. Some of it will be just dry brush. Let's come to this part. It's drying darker, so it's perfect. It's fine. Now, let's take a couple of little ones here, kind of brush strokes that they don't have to look like brick. And I'm going to go down. Now, when I'm going down behind, right next to the card at the bottom. So next to the card at the bottom, the reason the wall is darker, just because the card is casting a shadow over the wall. So we want to push this wall back. Okay. Okay. I know this is not there, but it doesn't mean I can't put it. Okay, good. Right, before we continue, I'm going to move on to this wall with the same color, titanium buff and burnt umber. Again, some of this brick showing through. All right. I'm going to put a bit here on this wall. And over again a little bit with a lighter titanium buff, less of the burnt umber, a couple right here. So I can see them, like some of them would be lighter, some of them would be darker. Some of these bricks. This is titanium buff with burnt umber, but less burnt umber and more titanium buff. Now, before we finish, I'm going to take a small round brush right there, and I'm going to take raw umber, mix my raw umber with a tiny bit of turquoise or teal, but more raw umber, and see if I can see it. If I can see it on the wall, I can see the raw umber dark color on the wall, I'm good. I don't need to darken it more. I'm going to test and see. So what I'm going to do here is a tiny bit of, I'm not going to add again brick everywhere, a suggestion of brick. And also my paint is a bit kind of wet because I want it to be more like a glaze and not a dark color. So when it dries darker. Yeah, it will dry darker. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm painting the brick, suggestion of a brick in the blue, where I have a big surface of flat blue, and I'm not going to do it everywhere. I'm just going to do it here and there, just kind of so the wall is not too flat.
And so you're drawing them in now?
I am drawing them, yes, with the round brush.
And sorry, what color was that again?
This is raw umber with a bit of the teal.
Okay.
I'm drawing it not everywhere, just kind of in where I see flat surface. I'm just putting a suggestion. I don't want to cover this flat. I like the flat. I don't want to cover it. I just want to make it look like it's behind the flat patina. This, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to do anything there. All right, I think there's some here. I can put some here. And also here, like that, a couple down here. The reason I mix the raw umber with the teal color for this brick just because, and I make it kind of glaze. So I put water in my paint because I don't want this to dry harsh. I don't want this kind of dark color over the wall to dry harsh. Too dark. You know how sometimes with acrylic you end up with a dark color, harsh. So to avoid this and to make the wall looks like it has brick on it, but without the harsh lines, I am mixing my raw umber with teal. More raw umber than teal, but it's there. Okay, it's good enough. Now, the same applies, the same technique, same idea. I'm going to take titanium buff with a bit of burnt umber and kind of make it into a glaze. Come here. And I'm drawing around the brick that I put in here in this off-white color, which is titanium buff with burnt umber. Darken a bit because I'm going down. Every time when I start going down, I darken my colors. Because first of all, we want this wall, we want to push this wall all the time back. So when we put the card, when we paint the card, it's not competing with the wall. Darker, more burnt umber. Okay, good. Now I'm going to take just burnt umber or raw umber, doesn't matter, just one of them. Just burnt umber or raw umber with nothing. And I'm going to come here and add just that kind of where the brick is, the dark, the red brick. I'll show you what I mean right here. Let's take this one here. I added a couple of brick with the brush. I'm just going to go in between and add this dark color in there so I can see it. Wherever I cannot see the brick that I put in there, I'm going to kind of give it a suggestion. You don't want your lines to be everywhere. Those kind of couple of bricks in here they look a bit too perfect. Just make them, push them back a bit. Too clean. Okay.
It really takes shape once you started outlining the bricks.
Pardon?
It really started to take shape.
Yes, it does. It does. Now, there's one thing that we can do, but we don't have to. I'm just going to show you where the paint is peeling off. Right here at the bottom, we can put a bit of dark, not everywhere, in certain areas. It just shows some of the shadow of the paint peeling off the wall, right? So let's say if I put a bit of down here, it just makes it 3D right there. We don't have to do that. It's just I'm just showing you what can be done. But really, if you like the texture you have and you don't want to do any of this, no problem. It's not going to add any, it's not going to do any kind of, it's so busy. The wall is so busy. It's not going to make any difference. Okay. Now one more thing and then we're done for this week. I'm going to put a masking tape on this wall, and I'll show you in a minute. Let's get the brush. I'm going to take raw umber and kind of make my raw umber tiny bit of water in there so it's not thick and heavy. Okay, and then with my brush, I'm just going to corner of my brush, just going to go down. I might need to make it a little bit, sorry, I have to turn it around for a moment. Turn around now. With the corner of my brush. Okay, now I'm going to take this off. And then what I get is a shadow of this wall over this right here. If I find that there is a harsh line right here, right there, right here, all I have to do is clean my brush with water with the corner of my brush, just go over it and soften this, soften the harsh line. There. So a shadow is not supposed to be opaque. It's supposed to be transparent. So you should be able to still see the patina underneath. And I can kind of push the shadow in more instead of out. Shadow is right here. It doesn't have to be strong. It's just a suggestion. Just to push this wall out and this one back, the one on the left. Next week we will work on the door and the upper part of the door. I think because we used mostly teal color here, we can do the door in red. All right, I'm going to stop recording, and this is what we have for this week, and I think it's enough for this week.
Well, have a great week, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
All
right, so we're done for this week. We did most of the wall back, the wall in the back, and next week we'll start working on the door.